Hello, y'all. My name is Francis Fracker, and I am here to tell you all about it. Tell you all about what, Francis? I'm here to tell you all about horizontal, hydraulic, slick water fracture drilling. Now, how do I know anything about horizontal, hydraulic, slick water fracture drilling? I went in on the Wikipedia and I studied it. Why? Because where I live, which is in some assisted living, my friends said, Francis, actually my friends call me Franny. Franny, your name's Francis Fracker. What do you know about hydraulic, horizontal, fracture drilling? I said, not a darn thing. What do you know about it? And they said, nothing. That's why we were asking you. And we thought maybe you could tell us all about it. So here I am, Francis Fracker, and I am here to tell you all about it. All right. I have a lot of little notes here, and I have a little chicken timer. I've been told that when you're doing these YouTube and things, you have to be sure that you only go about 3 minutes because people get really bored these days. They can't concentrate. And so I'll give you plenty of time to just turn me off. All right. Actually, I put this little chicken timer, she's now on 50 minutes, so I messed it up. But I would like you to let me know that if you get a hold of me on my YouTubing, I would like you to name my chicken timer. That way I know if anybody's watching this darn thing. Okay. All right. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is there's a couple ways that you spell fracking. If you work for the oil and gas industry, they're very picky about how you spell the word fracking. If you work for oil and gas, you spell that. Are you ready to say this with me now once? Fracking. Fracking. Oh, did you hear that? I have an audience. All right. Fracking. If you work for the companies, it's F-R-A-C. Frack. Frack. If you're working for anybody else, they don't care how you spell it, and somehow it came out into F-R-A-C-K-I-N-G. We think that came through the press. We're not really sure. If anybody's really interested in finding out, go in and do some research on the Wikipedia and get a hold of me. That way I'll be able to tell people where that spelling came from, but frankly, I don't really give a crap. Then there's the spelling of my name, Francis Fracker. Fracker. F-R-C-K-Q-U-E-R. That's close enough. My husband, rest his soul, was from French Canada, and that's how I got my name Fracker. But that's not how I know about fracking. I know about fracking because I've been studying it. Have any of you? Do you know why we need to study fracking? Because fracking is happening. It's happening here, it's happening there, it's happening everywhere. And you're going to be wanting to know what it is, because let me tell you right now, it doesn't matter where you live, you're being affected by it. And I am now out of time. So even though my little chicken timer hasn't gotten off, I have friends going. So I will see you next time. This is Francis Fracker, and I have been here to tell you all about it. Bye. Makeup. Oh, no makeup. Darn it. You're probably wondering, what am I doing here? My name is Francis Fracker, and I am not an actress, and you can tell because my teeth are crooked and they're really yellow. I don't use any of them whitened strips. I just am here to tell you all about hydraulic, horizontal, slick water, fracture drilling. Telephone! No, that's my chicken. That's my chicken. Let me wind her up. We're going to do 3 minutes. I liked hearing that ding now, didn't you? That was good. I'm waiting to hear from y'all. Tell me what to name my chicken. We got to go for 3 minutes on this YouTubing because that's all the kind of concentration anybody has anymore. So let me tell you now. I told you in my last, did you watch my last one? I told you all about how to spell fracking. Fracking. F-R-A-C-K, if you're not with the industry, I-N-G, or if it's somebody like me, fracking. It's fracking. All right? These people have been fracking. Now, I started to tell you last time when I had to leave that it used to be when they was getting oil out of the ground, they barely bothered with the natural gas, but they're bothering more with that now. But when they used to get the oil out of the ground, they would come in, they'd put in this big old drill, and they'd go straight down into a great big pocket of oil. Now, do you remember sometime, a long time ago, there was let me tell you a story about the man named Jed. He was a poor mountaineer, barely kept his family fed. He went out shooting, and up came the crew. Bingo, that's where you put your well. You go on down. If you saw that movie, there's going to be blood, or it's going to be bloody. I can't remember the movie, but I know it was about drilling. Same thing, he just looked for little puddles of oil on the ground, all right? Now, they go down into that little pocket of oil, and if you remember some of them movies, if you ever saw it, it would come shooting up, and everybody would be glorious, and they'd be covered in oil, and their teeth would be white, and they'd be dancing a little jig, all right? That's not how they do it anymore, because we're running out of pockets. I have to go? Oh, I got 1 minute left. Let me tell you then real quick. Now you can't go into pockets because there's hardly any pockets anymore. And then what they said in the beginning was, well, we're going to get off of that oil. We're going to go for the natural gas. It burns clean. It's a clean burner. So we're going to go for the natural gas. All right? So natural gas is going to be our bridge fuel from using the fossil fuel, from using them dead dinosaurs. We're going into using the sun and the wind and maybe some waves. But this was going to be, while they're trying to get that all together, now they're going to use this gas. All right, so now we got to go in and get the gas. Where in the heck is it anyway? Happens to be way down under the ground in what they call shale. Say that with me once now. Shale. That's right. Okay, shale. If you remember when you was a little kid and you used to play on shale piles, and your parents would say, get the heck off there because you're going to die. Because it goes like this. It's like this, and it's very fragile, and it has little teeny tiny pockets of gas in it. And they couldn't get in there because it's not a big pocket, it's just a little one. That's where that word horizontal comes in. Are you getting some ideas now what we're talking about? You have to drill way down into the ground, and then you turn the corner and you go sideways. That's horizontal. They go into that shale. They have all these little explosives. Them little explosives go off. That blows the shale open. Then they stop for a minute, and then the exciting part comes, and guess what? I'm out of time. So the next time you come in to see Francis Fracker, I'm telling you, 3 minutes goes fast, doesn't it, folks? We won't even review. We'll go straight into what happens as soon as you go horizontal into that and blow up that shale. This is Francis Fracker saying, I'm here to tell you all about it. Bye. Hi, I am Francis Fracker, and I am here to tell you all about it. Tell you about what? Horizontal, hydraulic, slick water fracture drilling. Now, I have 2 other YouTubes up right now. It's just a tubing all over the U's. And so now I'm going to tell you all about, we left off, we was telling you all about how you go in and get this gas, all right? Now, it depends on which part of the country you live in, because sometimes this gas is only 7,000 feet down. Sometimes this gas is 10,000 feet down. Sometimes this gas is only 5,000 feet down. The point is, you got to get down to that shale. So, down goes it, goes sideways, that's where that horizontal fracture drilling, all right? Blow it up, shale opens up, just like a little oyster. Don't you wish them was pearls instead of gas? All right, now, they go in there, and this is the fun part, all right? And I'm going to tell you about where this all came from next couple of times I talk to you. But what happens here is they mix up a recipe, they put that down in that well, and they get into that shale. And let me tell you, this recipe is a secret. Now, if any of you have any secret recipes like you've had at home, it's like making a cake. It is. You take a little silicone sand. Take about 5 million gallons of fresh water. It's got to be fresh water, and every time they frack, it's about 5 million gallons. Now, a lot of people tell you that's not very much water. It's not. We don't have that much in our swimming pool. That might tell you where we are living at the extended living. And where are you going?
Cough, but
oh. My videographer is going to cough. Pardon us for just a second. There you go. All right. Everybody clear your throat? Y'all right now? Okay. 5 million gallons of water. They take the water, they take the sand. Now, the sand comes from a special place. It has to be a special kind of sand, but I'm going to tell you about that too. And I got 1 minute ticking and a ticking, and my clucking isn't working. And, all right, silicone sand. You put that in, it's kind of like your flour. And then you put in your water. Now, instead of putting in eggs, instead of putting in baking soda, you put in chemicals. And you might say, what kind of chemicals? Well, you know what? That's a secret. You don't need to worry about that. You don't need to worry about them chemicals. Let me tell you. It depends on what they're trying to do, and there's a real good, interesting story about them chemicals. But what they do is they mix that all up. Now, it's going to depend on, because every chemical has a specific reason why it has to go down that hole. Some's gonna, now that sand keeps that shale open, it's like tickles it open, but then that other stuff goes down there and it makes sure there's no bacteria, and this one makes sure it can go slippery, and this one makes sure it's not gonna get any rust, and this one makes sure, now once you get into that shale, yes, there's gas in there, there's all kinds of gas in there. There's also some oil in there, and there's a lot of other things too, like a little bit of uranium and maybe there's a lot of stuff in there. Anyway, here's what they do. They take that and they mix it real nice, and then they shove it down that well, the biggest going in, just shoving it down there. Real high pressure. You understand what I'm saying? It goes down in that shale and it blasts the crap out of it, sucks it back up. Now, if the sucking isn't going real well, they use a pump. Now, they pull up that stuff up there and they separate it, because they don't want the gucky stuff with the good stuff. And there's lots of ways that happens as well, but all you need to know is that you're getting the gas and oil out of that shale. And then that little sand stays in there and keeps that shale open so they can go down and get some more if there happens to be any left. There's times when they can frack that little well quite a few times. Now to bring that stuff back up to the earth's surface, and they separate it. All right? They separate it from the good stuff from the not so good stuff. And the good stuff they send on down the line where they're going to process it. They're going to decide whether it's going to be wet gas, dry gas, oil, all kinds of stuff. I don't even know what kind of stuff they take out of there. But the other stuff, the chemicals and the uranium and the dirty water, and then, you know, the companies have names for that water. It's a real nice name. It's called processed water. They've processed that water already. That water's been processed or fracked, whichever way you want to think about it. You can't use that water again. So you might ask, well, what happens to that dirty water? Well, you don't need to worry about that. That's not important. Actually, it is, but I'm out of time. So I'm going to tell you what happens to that dirty water when we come back next time. So even though my chicken timer's not working, I got my friends behind there going. So this is Francis Fracker saying thank you very much for joining me this time. And this is, I'll be seeing you. Bye.